Hello everyone and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. I am your host Jitch, and you're watching Friday Night SmackDown. Now,
making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 222 pounds,
we're kicking things off with exactly what I said would be taking place after last week's main event on Superstars between CM Punk and Rey Mysterio. CM Punk will be getting that opportunity to qualify for Money in the Bank, as will Christian. These two are set to face off one-on-one with each other. I've been told, by the way, by Bret Hart, he came up to me earlier, right? He put his arm around me and he said, when I beat the Ultimate Warrior tonight, and I will continue to succeed because I'm a fighting champion, I am going to do what no one expects me to be able to do. I am going to defend my Intercontinental Championship against both Christian and Edge in a triple threat match next week. That has got to be one of the boldest things I have ever heard someone decide they're going to do, but, well, there it is. That is the decision that he has made. And you gotta respect it. Obviously, you still gotta overcome the Ultimate Warrior, but, I somewhat believe in Bret's ability to do so. Sort of.
from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 227 pounds, Christian.
Oh, me too. Well, Christian and CM Punk, two people who I believe have quite a fair bit of history amongst them, going one-on-one tonight with a Money in the Bank spot hanging in the balance. I think this is going to be just such an important match to everyone involved, and by everyone I mean these two. I can't wait to see who comes out with that Money in the Bank spot. That's it, really. We know that Edge will be getting a shot at qualifying for Money in the Bank as well, so it's interesting to know that potentially the Intercontinental Champion could be in the Money in the Bank, well, the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, if you're not familiar, we have two Money in the Bank briefcases. We got a SmackDown and a Raw one. Damien Sandow just recently cashed in his SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase to become World Heavyweight Champ. But I truly believe that these two have been long awaiting their opportunity to become champions once again. Obviously, Christian has been existing more as a tag team superstar in recent memory, but that looks like that's completely thrown out the window. I just hope Bret doesn't regret opening up what he is possibly going to do, which is that Intercontinental Championship match. My God, I can't get my words out.
So much on the line in this one. I can say on any given night, anything can happen in the WWE.
Anything. Even.
Nice reversal. Wow! Talk about timing. An elbow. The range of emotions here is startling. There's almost an unknowing of what to expect.
Sorry, I just completely zoned out there. Yeah, but Christian obviously fighting for something big here. We saw him come close to becoming Intercontinental Champion. No thanks to Edge back at Over the Limit. He'll have a chance to try and right that wrong in his world.
And there's an overhand right. These are great competitors. Great, tremendous. That'll chip your teeth. He's not going to beat you with that move, but he's going to make
I don't know why, but I'm struggling to talk right now. Like, not being able to formulate words for this.
And he's heading back in.
CM Punk back inside the ring. I believe these two have clashed in the past. I want to say that we've seen these two face off before. Obviously, two people that I think have been in definitely higher standings than they're currently in the past. Although I'd say Christian's still pretty damn significant. CM Punk, on the other hand, he's been constantly just waiting for that moment to shine, that moment where he can be a top guy, oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm back. I sit cross-legged when I record this, and I think I accidentally tripped the wire for the PS3 from the capture card, so it kind of cut out the signal, and then it wasn't coming back, and that was kind of scary, but it looks like it was saved. CM Punk with a big diving elbow drop attempt there, but Christian just about manages to roll out of the way. I do wonder if Bret Hart can overcome Ultimate Warrior tonight. I mean, there's a lot of speak about, obviously, you know, Edge and Christian both getting their shot inside that triple threat match, and Bret being a fighting champion and this and that, but, like, what if that doesn't even happen? What if that's not actually in the cards? I mean, right now, Christian's already looking at suffering a loss. Go to sleep, connecting on Christian. Cover attempt. This could be a really bad string of weeks for Christian. Ooh, almost. Christian back in action after failing to capture the Intercontinental Championship tonight, and CM Punk with a roll-up pinfall has just secured himself a spot inside Money in the Bank. That is not the way I think Christian, or honestly anyone, foresaw that playing out here tonight. There will be no Money in the Bank for Christian, but for CM Punk, another glimpse of hope is in the horizon. Let's not forget, actually, that CM Punk has got a lot of history with the current World Heavyweight Champion, Damien Sandow. It'd be almost poetic justice for CM Punk to finally come around and be the one to end Sandow's World Heavyweight Championship reign with Money in the Bank after Sandow, I believe, lost his European Championship to CM Punk, like a year ago. Well, Punk is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He is the first confirmed participant. It looks like his luck is finally turning around. And speaking of luck, I don't know who's more unlucky in this next match, because Mark Henry is set to face off against Sheamus in another Money in the Bank qualifying match. I believe it was just 12 days ago, back at Over the Limit, that this man was screwed out of the World Heavyweight Championship in his eyes by Damien Sandow. Sandow has caused quite the ruckus when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship scene right now. The former champion Triple H, of course, very much first in line for an opportunity at the World Championship when he is able to return from injury. But tonight we've got a #1 contenders match between John Cena, the man who damn near beat Triple H for the World Heavyweight title, as well as Randy Orton, the man who made his intentions clear and actually cost Triple H the title with that RKO that led to the Damien Sandow cash-in that we all witnessed. Mark Henry honestly feels like he has been cheated out of the World Heavyweight Championship, and he will not be slowing down anytime soon. It doesn't matter who he has to go through. Mark Henry says the only thing that Damien Sandow has done by cashing in that Money in the Bank briefcase is made it easier for Henry to eventually swipe that World Championship away from Sandow. He's gone from a tougher opponent, someone more on his level, but not even quite there, like Triple H, to someone who is so incredibly below him. Like, oh. Like Damien, sorry, I think that was the Sandow curse. I started smack talking him on behalf of Mark Henry, and I just choked on my words, you know.
And approaching the ring from Dublin, Ireland, weighing 272 pounds, the European champion, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Well, here's a really interesting subject for me, because when it comes to the European champion, Sheamus is in his third reign. This is a title that is primarily supposed to be featured on shows like Superstars. It's supposed to be competed for by some of the lower-ranked hopefuls of the SmackDown roster, and Sheamus just keeps finding it back around his waist again, even though this man is a former World Heavyweight Champion and a record-setting World Tag Team Champion. But he is once again European Champion. I guess honestly, whoever does eventually dethrone him is going to get a huge break in their career. But of course, what I like to kind of refer to as the pre-PVs are coming up next week on SmackDown, because obviously No Way Out Raw's next stop is 9 days from now. It's next Sunday. That's a Raw-only show, No Way Out. So, with that being said, SmackDown will be seeing numerous title defenses next week, and one of those I'd imagine will be the European Championship. That is Sheamus's, and obviously the thing about the pre-PV episodes as opposed to an actual big event is there's not a lot of build-up towards those championship matches. Some of them are kind of put together on the fly, kind of just, you know, champions honoring their obligation to defend their championship when they are due to defend it, that kind of thing. So I do wonder if Sheamus will be defending the European Championship next week. Obviously we saw how quick and decisive his victory over the Great Khali was, that led to him still being European Champion. I don't know what's going on with my voice. I was having quite a nasty little coughing episode before I started recording, because I feel like I inhaled something really nasty. I mean, it was vacuuming earlier. I say hoovering. People don't know what I mean when I say that, because that's a British term. Funny thing is that that's actually a Band-Aid situation for anyone that's ever wondered, because I've seen people say what's a hoover or what's hoovering before. Vacuuming. But here in the UK sometimes people call it hoovering. That's actually just like the Band-Aid situation. Band-Aid is a brand of plaster, but a lot of people just call plasters Band-Aids, and it's very much the same thing. Hoover is a brand, not even of just vacuums. They do like fridges and all sorts of other like household items. Boy, this is really boring to be talking about. I just kind of wanted to educate anyone that ever wondered what I meant when I say that, because I don't know, hoovering sounds better than vacuuming to me. Vacuuming almost sounds too scientific, I guess, is probably the best word I'd use. Like, obviously, it's not really, but, like, I'm just saying, like, what the word sounds like to me. It sounds a bit too factual, almost. I don't know. Really hard one to explain. I don't really like the word vacuuming very much. Even though Hoover is a brand. I think you do like microwaves and stuff too. Anyway, my god, I cannot focus today. In the last match I kept going quiet, just not saying anything. And in this match I'm talking about, I think the reason is because I was saying, like, I've got a bit of a funny voice at the moment, because I think I might have inhaled a little bit of dust, because we had a clog. It's very exciting stuff, I know. Mark Henry, back and forth with Sheamus. I'm actually, like, Michael Cole started talking like that. Like, obviously, you know, I think realistically, I try to sell the kayfabe for this playthrough series as best as I can, but in the end, it is just me playing a game, you know, it's no different than our other series, so sometimes I just get really casual with it, and I honestly, I tend to, when I apologize for these things and explain them in the videos, I tend to get, like, a lot of feedback where people are like, actually, I really like when you just talk about whatever, it's kind of fun to listen to, so, I mean, maybe I should stop apologizing to a degree, but, I still will, because I know that that's not what everyone's here for. I know that's what most people aren't here for. They'd rather I actually tried selling a match this big, to be fair, because here in this universe, both Mark Henry and Sheamus are very big deals, and I'm talking about fucking cleaning the floor. What I was going to say before is I feel like if Mark Henry defeats Sheamus tonight, perhaps that's who should be challenging Sheamus for the European Championship next week. Now, obviously, I can respect that it's the same situation where if Henry wins the European Championship, it's another guy I don't really feel like necessarily needs the European Championship. Right now, he doesn't really seem to know what he wants to do with Sheamus. He's just dragging him around the outside of the ring. I think he's trying to go for the barricade, but he just doesn't know where it is. Oh, Marcus. Back inside the ring they go. Sheamus running around, looking a little clueless. Quick thinking to avoid that. And, oh. Completely failed to collide with that clothesline attempt there. Mark Henry takes Sheamus down, and then, is this going to be enough? Oh, God, that would have been a really strange finish there. Well, this could very well be enough. I feel like it'd be strange to see Sheamus tap out, but this is 2K14. Sorry, this is Season 4, the season where everyone submits. Submission is key in this season. Just like countouts were key in the last season, to the point where we had to stop having countouts in a lot of matches. Well, that bear hug will have definitely done a lot of damage to Sheamus, even if it didn't necessarily lead to a submission victory. And the Celtic Warrior does seem to be in a dire situation right now, as he's perhaps calling to try and wrap this one up with a brogue kick. Fans actually on their feet in a reaction there to Sheamus connecting with the brogue kick, and oh, Mark Henry with a spicy little kick out. I cannot wait to get to Season 5. I know I say that every season, but I think what I'm really excited about when I get to Season 5 is I've never played a 2K15 universe year before. I've done, for anyone who's like new to this channel, really old series a lot of people reminisce about. I actually found a Reddit thread with people looking for old videos of it the other day. Sorry, they're gone forever. I did a most year of 12, because I started that in January and I wrapped it up when 13 came out. And then I did a whole year of 13. I did 2 whole years of 14. And then I did a year of 16 and like 5 or 6 months of 17. Probably a little more than 5 or 6, but it felt like it was only a few months of 17 I did. Yeah, I think it was about 7 months maybe, because it was when the game comes out, which used to be like November time before it recently turned into WrestleMania time, all the way up to Money in the Bank, and then I stopped. So I'm really looking forward to 15 because I never did it. I didn't have a next-gen console, when that's what you'd call the Xbox One and PS4. And I didn't have a PC strong enough to play it either. So I didn't want to get the really, really crappy version of 15 that was on the PS3 and 360. So just stuck to 14. I'm really, really pumped to actually do a series on 15 now. I feel like it's going to be especially because I've got such a good computer that like I can put the settings so high that it's going to look spectacular. Here comes JBL. I've been talking about this before. There seems to be this weird attention/alliance between JBL and Mark Henry, and it looks like today it's tension. JBL mouthing off as Mark Henry gets the world's strongest slam. I don't know if maybe he's trying to motivate him or what. Are we going to see a cover attempt here? Mark Henry drops Sheamus with the world's strongest slam, and I don't know what happened there. JBL is inside the ring. He's grabbing Mark Henry. What is he doing? Okay, I guess these two aren't allies. I thought JBL and Mark Henry were forming some kind of unity. I guess not, as Mark Henry gets... Oh, never mind. I thought he was going to do another world's strongest slam. That was just a fallaway slam. I am just going to quickly try to stop my bunny from digging randomly, because she went fucking doing it. It's really annoying. I have to just tap on the hutch. If she associates digging with me tapping on the hutch, then she won't fucking do it. That'd be great. Oh, still this match continues. Holy hell, this has been a lengthy one, but then I guess, I mean, look at who's in this match. I feel like the next match, Edge and Robert Scorpio, is definitely not going to be nearly as long, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to quite go in the favor of Scorpio, if you know what I mean. I'd like to see him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think he had a decent showing against Six. Sheamus with the cover. It seems like JBL is intent on making sure Mark Henry isn't in Money in the Bank. I believe JBL is scheduled for a Money in the Bank qualifier next week, for the record. That's next week, not this week. Sheamus going to try and force a submission out of Mark. I mean, he can't even connect his hands behind the head of Mark Henry. This man is so broad. Down he goes. Mark Henry going in for the cover. JBL really just looming in this one. And JBL breaking up the pit. Come on! Ref, get that guy out of here! Well, I guess realistically, yeah, he's got to focus on the submission hold here. And it looks like Mark Henry... I think he passed out. He didn't ever submit there. I noticed he just kind of fell flat. And that was the end of that one. So Sheamus is headed for Money in the Bank. I feel like Mark Henry really got cheated here. tell you what, if this leads to a rivalry between JBL and Mark Henry, I would very much enjoy seeing that one. But I can't really understand why JBL would pick that fight. That's not a fight he's going to come out on top of by any means. Well, anyway, Sheamus is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He joins CM Punk, and we will find out the third member. I was about to say the first half will be complete, but I kind of worded that really weirdly. As Edge faces Robert Scorpio next to determine who will be third in that 6-man ladder match.
Making his way to the ring, from the United Kingdom, Robert Scorpio.
Well, this also ought to be an interesting match. I feel like this is a first timer for sure. Robert Scorpio and Edge going one-on-one. Two very different styles of superstars. Admittedly, speaking of superstars, that's where we mostly see this guy. But tonight, that's actually a different story altogether. Robert Scorpio is back in action here on SmackDown with a huge opportunity at hand. Can we see Scorpio maybe even beat Edge? Some wishful thinking, I'm sure, but could we? Well, here comes the rated R superstar. Christian didn't join. Can Edge do it? I say yes.
Weighing 241 pounds, the rated R superstar, Edge.
I want to say that Edge has an easier opponent here tonight than Christian did, but admittedly CM Punk is someone who has really kind of fallen from grace in recent years. Honestly, to be fair, I don't even think he's necessarily fallen from grace. I think CM Punk has struggled to kind of maintain his footing, so to speak. He'll get this little bit of momentum and it will kind of slip up. And now he's in Money in the Bank. That could all change. One of these two will be joining CM Punk and Sheamus in Money in the Bank. We'll be finding out who that is in just a moment. So, I was about to say, so just keep watching, goddamn, or something, but Edge's entrance ended a little too quickly. Well, Edge is very quick on the offense here on Scorpio, and Edge has been constantly venting backstage how frustrated he is that Christian got the Intercontinental Championship shot, that nobody respects him, that he deserves so much more than what he is being given, that he is the star between him and Christian, and he will continue to prove that, yada yada yada. We'll see if Edge gets an Intercontinental Championship shot next week. Bret Hart has to be able to retain against Ultimate Warrior. We could be calling Edge the Intercontinental Champion in the very near future. So the arm of Scorpio, and as I said before, I don't mean any disrespect to Scorpio, but I definitely think this is Edge's match at a first glimpse. I think a lot of people are going to count Scorpio out on this. I most certainly am. I do obviously have a bit of a natural alliance with Scorpio. I think I'm always going to be rooting internally for him. I'm going to be happy if he does win. But I do think he is up against a real star here tonight. Edge, although very short-lived, is a former World Heavyweight Champion. And you do need to bear that in mind at a time like this. Because that is a huge factor in this match. That is something Scorpio has never achieved.
I have a strong feeling that these guys will throw caution to the wind and just go full steam ahead.
Let's be there by Scorpio. Quick, effective. Sergeant Slaughter saying this is awesome again. Been another while since we heard that, so you know.
He drops the elbow.
It's always nice to know.
Over the last 10 years, SmackDown has excited the WWE Universe with some of the most memorable moments in television history.
Such
and
as?
we're witnessing more amazing moments here tonight.
Yes. Now list some.
And that's a stiff kick. No, blocked.
Back in my day, they would have listed some. He says talking about like a 10-year-old game.
Over the last
Moved there by Edge as he takes control of Scorpio. It's a very old look here for Edge, not quite wearing his usual get-up that we kind of saw him match Christian with. Really does feel like that era is behind us now, unfortunately. I feel like Edge and Christian will be a team that we will remember very fondly for some time to come. But unfortunately, it does appear that it has definitely come to an end. I think Bret is very much the instigator that caused that. There's no good troublemaker. Scorpio fighting back. Got a lot to prove here tonight in front of this SmackDown crowd. Looks like he's not going to waste any time. Got him there. Is that going to be enough? Cover attempt. Edge is down. No. Well, hang on a minute. Scorpio going straight for the White Tiger Bomb. He never hesitates, I've noticed, from one move to the other. Is this going to be the finishing point in this match? This would be the biggest win of his career by far. No, it's not. No, Scorpio continuing to fight back. You got to give him credit where credit is due. He is not backing down. He's not letting up. He is trying to say to Edge, I can be on your level. The fans agree too.
Wow! Listen to this WWE Universe. They're calling for him to rally. Oh no! Did you hear that impact? Keep your eye on this one. Oh no! That was precision.
Well, is that going to be enough? Edge is hooked. Ooh, Scorpio keeps coming very, very close. Honestly, he's got a lot of fight in him today. Kind of weird to see, but I'm happy for it at the same time.
DDT right on his face. Edge is in tremendous pain. His brain has to be reeling
His
from this
brain. Another attempt here by Edge. Scorpio really turning things around, but Edge now back in control for the first time. Scorpio kicking out at 1. Side suplex brings down Scorpio, and now Edge is very much looking like he's got this one back under his control. It's just starting to feel a lot more edge-paced. Edge-paced. I'm by it now. Scorpio, though, is in control. Off the ropes. Crossbody? No! No, not enough. Edge continuing to fight back.
What a hellaciously physical match these gladiators have put each other through. The intensity in this, and he kicks out.
I love how much they call them gladiators. There's something funny about that. Scorpio once again driving the knee into the back. Is it enough? Got him covered. He's done it. Robert Scorpio is in Money in the Bank. He just pinned Edge, and I had nothing to do with it. I swear to God, I had nothing to do with that victory, because I know exactly what a lot of people will jump to. Well, Robert Scorpio joins Sheamus and CM Punk. And I gotta say, barring Sheamus, you got two people there that I think Money in the Bank could really benefit. As I mentioned earlier on, JBL is set for a qualifier next week. We don't know much more about the other qualifying matches for Money in the Bank, but nonetheless, this was a big victory for Robert Scorpio, not to steal a line from the commentary, but perhaps the biggest in his life. As we move on to our next match, John Cena and Randy Orton, a #1 contenders match. The winner meets Damian Sandow for the World Heavyweight Championship next week.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from St. Louis, Missouri, weighs 245 pounds, the Apex Predators, Randy Orton.
Well, the last time these two faced off, Randy Orton was very much the manipulator to John Cena. He had gotten Cena to win the WWE Championship with his help from The Undertaker, only to bring the title to Raw and then defeat Cena for that championship. Here tonight, they are on common ground. Just two hungry challengers for the World Heavyweight title. A title Randy Orton is no stranger to. John Cena has never held. Damien Sandow, I think, will be watching this one very intently, and honestly, whether his facade shows it or not, I would say with some serious anxiety towards which one of these two he's going to be facing next week. Because whether it's John Cena or Randy Orton, Sandow is very much straight in on the deep end, so to speak, when it comes to who he will be facing off against next week. There is no, I think, positive outcome in the sights of Damien Sandow.
And approaching the ring from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing 240 pounds, John Cena.
Cena has been hungry for World Championship gold for quite some time, but Randy Orton, I don't know the last time that guy held some. I think these two have evenly been kept away from the World Championship for quite some time. But Sandow may very well have cashed in at a very inopportune time, looking at the current landscape of the brand that man is on. I don't know that there was a good outcome for him. But here we go, Cena charging straight in. Orton with a quick reversal. Very quick. So quick I'd say it was quick. I like when the commentary man says he's going to punch the other man in the face. Big funny. Well, I feel like this is going to be a very big match. Perhaps bigger than our main event, but I don't know about that. I don't really feel like it's fair to compare the two. But our main event is up next. The Intercontinental Championship headlines this week's SmackDown as Bret Hart is set to defend against the Ultimate Warrior. How do you prepare for what is damn near the unknown? That is the question that a lot of people have been asking Bret Hart. No one really knows a whole lot about the Ultimate Warrior. He's still very, very fresh on the scene here. And I think that is definitely something that Bret has thought about, whether he's willing to show that side of nervousness tonight or not. I think Bret will be very anxious to be setting foot in the ring with the Ultimate Warrior, because it really is going to be just a fear of the unknown. No one knows this guy. No one knows what he's capable of. Came into the scene quite recently, already in contention for the Intercontinental Championship. See how far that gets him. Can Warrior be next? Bret has already said if he retains the Intercontinental Championship, he will continue his fighting champion ways, and he will defend it next week against both Edge and Christian. And after they both fail to qualify for Money in the Bank here tonight, I have a feeling they're going to be very desperate to make sure that Bret retains. But I think Bret has requested that they be kept away from ringside during the entirety of the time that match is going on. So whether or not we'll actually see an appearance from Edge and Christian, I don't know. But I have a feeling we're going to really want to man the security up a little bit, because I have a sneaking suspicion they will try to get involved, and they will actually try to help Bret retain that title against his wishes so that they can get that shot next week. That is what I honestly think. I think Bret has taken a little bit of a risk by announcing that that is his intention.
The kick connects.
Cena catching Randy Orton off guard there, and he drops him down, but Orton with a good reversal. Two absolute units as far as wrestlers go, John Cena and Randy Orton. You could say they could be the face of an era. We don't really have eras here in this universe. We've only had 3 years of existing, so can't really say that just yet. Geez, you know, sometimes I feel really bad about the lack of episodes that I've put up of this series, where I struggle to maintain consistency with recording and uploading this. But then I say what I just said, and I think to myself, yeah, I have done 3 whole years of this. around about this point. Because obviously season 1 was very short. I started at Survivor Series, finished at Mania. That was quite a short one. That was only about 5 months. But I did all of 12, I did all of 13. And now we're like, what, 3 months into 14? So I've actually only done about 2.5 years. Well, 2 and 3/4, somewhere around there. But the point is, like, I haven't done too bad. The only problem is, I started this series back up in 2019, and it's now 2023, and I've done about half the amount of years that have passed. So when I look at it that way, it's not been very good. I'm trying to change that. I think, honestly, I know I say this kind of thing a lot, but I think once the gameplay changes and it gets a bit more realistic / simulation style, I think I'm going to be very happy with that, and I think that's going to really motivate me more. It's going to be difficult because there are certain things like story designer and stuff that don't exist in those games, so the storylines themselves are going to be a bit more vanilla. It's going to have to be based on just what plays out in the game. Really, I have no control over that. I do think it's been kind of nice to go back on these games, because when I first did Universe on these, I didn't actually use Story Designer. I think I used it like once or twice towards the end of like the second year of 14, but I really didn't give it much of a shot, because I didn't like how slow it loaded. But obviously nowadays I don't really care about that as much, so it's literally like the whole explanation is just I don't really care that much anymore about that. Randy could make John Cena tap out. In this here universe, that is something that people have achieved. Side suplex by Randy brings down John Cena. Surprised there hasn't been an appearance from Damien Sandow. Honestly, I feel like he would have wanted to get a front row seat for a match of this caliber, a match that's about him and his World Heavyweight Championship, but I guess realistically then he'd be indulging these guys and getting the satisfaction of knowing they're in their heads of it. You could see Randy there, backing up into that corner. I have noticed he has been busting out that punt kick recently, and I could tell for a fact that that was something he was considering right there, and then as an RKO instead on John Cena. Randy Orton going in for the cover. Has he just defeated John Cena? Oh. One. If you're Bret Hart and Ultimate Warrior, how do you follow this? Normally this kind of match would be the main event. We thought we'd give the Intercontinental Championship the spotlight it deserves though this week, and so the championship being defended will be the main event instead. All about honor and respect and hustle and loyalty and rest. And Cena coming in hot here. He seems to be wasting his time a little bit, if you ask me. Ooh! Drops Randy Orton down. And now Cena, perfectly primed in position. Here comes a 5-knuckle shuffle in your face. John Cena wasting absolutely no time, though. Measuring up for the attitude adjustment. Oh, Orton elbows out of it. A second RKO to Cena. Orton wasting absolutely no time shooting in for that pinfall, and Cena still kicks out. Wowee. Things are getting heated in that ring. Especially between Cena and Orton. I don't know who else that would be between. I don't know why I just... Yeah, especially between Cena and Orton. The two guys in the match. The referee's not really been getting too heated, truthfully. Leg sweep there by Orton takes down Cena. I feel like this match has been very dominantly Orton, but then you think about how little Orton has had to go through in comparison to someone like Cena. Cena holds victories over Triple H and JBL in recent weeks, as well as, of course, making it through most of that elimination fatal 4-way back at Over the Limit just like 12 days ago. Cena could tap, and I guess that's the end of the match. Two RKO kickouts. Surfboard stretch. That's not even a surfboard stretch, I'm pretty sure. It's a chin lock. Well, That's not the way I would have liked to have seen that go, but that's the way it went. Randy Orton has earned himself a World Heavyweight Championship match next week. He said that costing Triple H the World Heavyweight Championship was nothing personal. He didn't care that Triple H lost the World Heavyweight Championship, but he had no ill will towards Triple H or his championship reign. He just simply wanted to get a message across to Triple H that he wanted that title. And the second Triple H lost it, Orton just didn't really care that it was lost to Sandow, because that just meant he was going to go through Sandow instead. And now he will get an opportunity to do that in next week's main event. So last week we saw Damian Sandow strike Orton with the World Heavyweight Championship after Orton had won his match last week. And now this week we know Orton will be in contention for the title. I can't wait to see how that match goes next week when those two finally face off one-on-one. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. Let's move on. It's time for our main event of the night. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. It's Bret Hart. It's Ultimate Warrior. It's gonna be a big one. This match has honestly been such a fascinating situation here tonight. Bret Hart has been asked, how exactly do you prepare for an opponent like the Ultimate Warrior? And Bret said simply this: I have no idea if Warrior is even capable of tapping out to the sharpshooter, so I'm going to have to try something new tonight, or I'm going to have to lock that one in extra tight. So one way or another, Bret Hart is definitely going into this match a little bit anxious, a little bit unsure of himself and how exactly he's going to win this. We know Bret Hart has won matches via pinfall in the past, but I tell you, this man has been very respectful of the Intercontinental Championship. Really reminds me of back when Booker T was the Intercontinental Champion over on Raw, I believe last year. The way this man has been so actively just being a proven fighting champion. Can he continue that here tonight? I'll tell you what, if he doesn't, if he loses that championship, that could actually be a blessing in disguise for him, because that would mean he is straight into contendership for the World Heavyweight title after defeating Damian Sandow last week. Bret cannot challenge Sandow for the World Heavyweight title for the entirety of his Intercontinental title run. Unless, of course, management decides upon a special one-time exception. But as it currently stands in the rulings, Bret cannot challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship whilst he is in possession of the Intercontinental title. Ultimate Warrior all fired up. This is a big opportunity for him. Still very early into his career. I mean, he's only, I think, won maybe 3-4 matches at most. And already he's Intercontinental Championship contender after that interesting contenders match that we had, I believe, just last week. That is a great championship right there. A lot of history. One of the most prestigious titles we've ever had. Bret holds it with honor. He holds it with pride. And he holds it with respect. But will this be the end of it? Has he bitten off more than he can chew? As I mentioned before, a very interesting challenge laid down by Bret Hart, who says that if he wins tonight's matchup, he will defend the title again next week in a triple threat against both Edge and Christian, as he feels there's unfinished business amongst the three of them after that disqualification last week. Bret very quickly going for a top rope move there and a knee drop. And it's not like Bret to normally go for a pinfall attempt that early in. You know, I don't think that's a matter of underestimating the opposition. I think actually Bret is trying to tire Ultimate Warrior out. It's one of the old sayings you'll hear a lot in the wrestling world is the effort it takes to kick out of those pinfalls can be enough to drain someone at some points in the matchup. Power slam there by Ultimate Warrior.
These competitors will always be
Nice
looking
reach.
to release their finishing maneuver.
Nice move there by Bret.
The complication
It's been such a stacked night here tonight, honestly. I feel like this has been a really big episode of SmackDown. CM Punk and Christian kicking off the show with Punk qualifying for Money in the Bank. That was followed by Sheamus and Mark Henry in a 10-minute classic, honestly. Very back and forth matchup in which Sheamus qualifies for Money in the Bank. And then Robert Scorpio with a massive upset defeating Edge to qualify for Money in the Bank as well. And then just moments ago, we saw Randy Orton defeat John Cena to be named the new #1 contender to Damien Sandow's World Heavyweight Championship. Bret obviously not really feeling the effects of Warrior too much right now. He was able to very quickly get out of that potential bashing of the head against the turnbuckle. And obviously the thing is, as much as you can say, is Bret definitely prepared for someone like Ultimate Warrior, you've also got to question, is Warrior prepared for someone like Bret? These are two very different superstars in terms of their style. One is very much a powerhouse, a lunatic in the ring, truthfully, and the other one is a master. He's an expert. He's very sound at mind. He's really in tune with everything around him when he's in that ring. This is Bret's element.
These superstars looking for a victory.
If it wasn't obvious, the lunatic I was talking about was the Ultimate Warrior, not Bret Hart.
Superstars keep doing it.
Suplex there.
And the knuckles connect.
Warrior really going in for those hammering strikes before anything else.
Wow, good thing the Hitman moved out of the way that time. Oh, right to the gut.
Stomps down on the midsection. And a little bit of revenge for that.
He's enjoying this. The championship.
Ultimate Warrior now scooping Bret Hart up over his head. Shades of Mark Henry earlier in the night. He did that to Sheamus a couple times. And Warrior could very well have this match wrapped up already and the Intercontinental Championship in his possession. No. Bret with a quick kick out. Elbow drop. Bret catching Warrior off guard as here comes, yep, a devastating pile driver. Center of the ring. Bret going in for a cover, and that's a smart move. You notice he hasn't really tried his usual submission strategy here. He knows Ultimate Warrior is just not going to tap out. At least not easily. Right hand across the face, and Ultimate Warrior now coming off the rope. Splash! There it is. That is the finishing move of the Ultimate Warrior, believe it or not. Can be a little hard to believe, but that is. And Bret was able to kick out. And Bret, it looks like perhaps he was measuring for the sharpshooter, but Ultimate Warrior has managed to turn things around for himself, and now once again the Warrior finds himself going for a big splash here, and Bret rolls out of the way. Excellently executed, so to speak. Oh no. Warrior going in for a quick cover attempt. That would have been a great sequence though, that failed splash into a sharpshooter, but Warrior was able to get quick to his feet. I mean, I think maybe he's a little afraid of Bret Hart's submission hold. Here it comes anyway. The sharpshooter. Bret had a lot of doubts that he could make Ultimate Warrior tap out, that it would take the most intense sharpshooter he has ever applied. The Warrior's just crawling towards the ropes, and yeah, that man did not pass out. He did not tap out. He is still very much in this match, and of course the hand on the rope there keeps this one going still. A big clubbing clothesline across the face and chest of Bret Hart. The arm so big it connects with both. Cover attempt on Bret once again. The Intercontinental Champion seems to be in danger here, and I'm honestly surprised to not see Christian and Edge involved in this match at all. I'm grateful. I'm glad they're not getting involved. You'd think they'd really want that Intercontinental title shot, though. Warrior scooping up. Ooh, big running power slam. Well, not really much for a walking power slam. And Warrior striking down in the face of Bret. Bret with a roll-up attempt here on Warrior center of the ring. That's definitely one way to put this one to rest, and he gets him. He caught him off guard, and he got him with a poetic victory there. Bret Hart is still Intercontinental Champion. Huge props to the champion here. What a huge... Oh no, Edge. Edge clearly not had enough after losing to Scorpio earlier in the night. Wait a minute, Bret from behind. Oh no. Edge striking down Bret Hart, and that is a man who is running thin on patience right now. And Edge continuing to attack. Wait a minute, is that Christian in the background? I see Christian grabbing a couple of steel chairs. Edge taking... Wait a minute, are these two working together here? Triple threat next week. Oh god. Are these two on the same page? Was this a setup the whole time? Christian offering a handshake to Edge and... Oh! Never mind! Edge laying out Christian. What a way to close out tonight.